Today it's match day Verona Juve, and as I told you and repeated many times, this one will be the most difficult to play, the most difficult to prepare, much more difficult than Juve Inter, much more difficult than that first one in Champions League against Dortmund, and much more difficult than the 3 upcoming games before the international break. Atalanta at home, La Musichetta from the Champions League again against Villarreal in Spain, and then at home again against the Milan of Allegri, the Milan of Rabiot. Pay attention really for the game of today, but listening to Tudor, well, he comforted me in at least how we will mentally approach this game. At least if I am listening to him. And I hope that the players were listening to him in press conference yesterday. So we'll speak, of course, about the important highlights of the press conference, also the starting 11, the choices of Tudor, and pay attention to what I am fearing from the Verona of Zanetti, ex-coach of Empoli, that we know really well. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you are prepared for Verona Juve, as usual. Pre-game, watch-along, and post-game here on the channel, so don't miss it. Don't tell me after the game, but I regretted that I didn't watch the game because it's Saturday, I was with my family, and I missed the game, a totally crazy game of Juve, because this Juve is totally crazy. I hope, sincerely, that we don't go towards what we watched in the last recent 2 games. Game that are solved at the 91st, 96th minute. Please, calma ragazzi. I would love an easy game, a game that we start at the first minute and not at the 45th minute, and a game that we are closing at the 60th minute already. But that's on me. What did he say? Tudor to comfort me. Well, he knows really well what he's speaking about because of his past at Juve, as the technical staff from Pirlo, as a player, and now already since a few games at Juve as a main coach. Well, he said the 2 games that we already played, that we just played, we forget about them. It's the past. No alibi, no excuses. So repeat after me, no alibi, no excuses. We go there and we take what we need to take. Of course, he's dreaming about the 3 points like I am dreaming about the 3 points, but pay attention, the most difficult part will be that we must work mentally, because it's a game that you win with your head, with the will. And on that one, Tudor, Beppe, we are aligned. Maybe because we come from the same generation, maybe because we lived the same Juve, him and me. Him, of course, on the field, me as a supporter, but looks like we really come towards from the same period, and that's already comforting me. If we decrease our level of concentration, of focus to 90%, it's over, we lose that game. So no excuse, no alibi. I love the fact that he's repeating it twice, like he's sending a message to the players. Gazzetta dello Sport, not only for the 3 points, not only for giving continuity, but also to reaching the level of the maestri, his teachers, the maestro of Juve that were there before him. So how did they do? Because they are watching, Well, Trapattoni, Lippi, Conte and Allegri in their first season on the bench of Juve in the 4 first game, 12 on 12 for Trapattoni, 10 on 12 for Marcello Lippi, 8 on 12 for Antonio Conte, 12 on 12 for Massimiliano Allegri. 4 coaches that in 4 games, the starting games of their career at Juve, were able to go unbeaten. Some all-in, like Trapattoni and Allegri. Some lost a few points because of droughts, but all of them were unbeaten. So if Tudor wants to align them, to reach them, and to do as good as Trapattoni and Allegri, he must go with a 4th win in a row in Serie A. Conceição and Zegrova, the big question mark, because Conceição is predicted as a starter, not Zegrova, even if a lot of Juve supporters, they wanted to see him from the first minute after that beautiful entry. These 10 minutes were, honestly, he played 10 minutes and there are comes of 2 minutes of the player. Can you imagine what he did on the field in these 2 minutes? Crazy, Conceição and Zegrova, they don't have a lot of minutes in their legs. That's what Tudor told us yesterday in press conference, but he said a lot of players can play. We must choose well according to the game we want to play. I told you many times, one of the big challenges this season of Igor Tudor, especially offensively, will be to choose the right players, the one that are most informed, the one that can play together, the one depending on the opponent and the game that you want to play. So what you want to do, but also how they are defending the spaces that they are leaving, which is the best player to actually hurt the opponent to go with goals, with the 3 points, not only from the bench, but also from the start of the game. And he knows about it. And yesterday I was really happy when I heard him saying the same thing. choosing according to the game that we want to play. But the players, they start to understand that there are no differences anymore between the starters and the subs, something that he told us a lot of times now. So what are the predicted lineups? From Giovanni Albanese, Gazzetta dello Sport, and Tuttosport, we go with Di Gregorio into the goal, Kalulu, Gatti, and Kelly, with Bremer that is resting, Weston McKennie that is winning at the moment that competition with Joao Mario on the right side, Locatelli, Thuram, Cambiaso. Up front, Conceição, Yildiz, and Vlahovic. You will tell me, Beppe, no rest for Thuram, no rest for Yildiz. Well, the intention is really clear from Igor. If this is the lineup, we go from the first minute, we give everything that we have, and then at the 45th minute, at the 60th minute, if we need to do some changes, because we have a really beautiful bench, I repeat, except of Miretti, Rui, and Milik, everyone has been called up, then we change. But show me that we can change. I'm counting on the players that are starting. If Yildiz has 45 minutes, he has 45, but he must do them at the full energy. Conceição, if he has 60 minutes, he will play 60 minutes, and then we can potentially change with Jegrova. Maybe Openda, maybe Jonathan David. We have a lot. Playing Dusan Vlahovic, I told you yesterday, is a really great choice. Not only because he's the most informed striker of Europe, but also because he knows how to score against Verona. I have no problems there. Pay attention, because I could potentially expect also some surprises in the starting 11. Pay attention to the names. As I told you, Joao Mario, maybe Koopmeiners, who knows, maybe Adzic, maybe a Jonathan David that in training session has been tested, paired with Dusan Vlahovic there up front. So I would not be surprised if this is not the starting 11. That's something that we will discover, of course, 1 hour before the game, and comment here while we are in watch along. I don't know if I asked you if you already put a maximum of like or not. Do it if you didn't yet. Please also continue to subscribe. It's not because we reach 40,000 Juventini of the world that we must stop. And pay attention on Monday. Monday, beautiful surprise, beautiful reveal. But wait, 2 more days. Dusan spinge per un posto. Dusan is pushing for a starting spot. Dusan starts. David Openda at the photo finish. Tuttosport was saying pay attention. And because they could potentially also be surprises, confirming what I just told you. What I loved yesterday from Igor Tudor, and there you see the big, huge influence from a coach like Marcello Lippi on him, is defend Tudor. Tudor is defending, not in the game, even if we saw that we were with a really low block in the second half against Dortmund and nearly the entire game against Inter, but he's defending, he's a shield for his players. He spoke yesterday about 2 players in particular. He spoke about Di Gregorio, he spoke about Lloyd Kelly. About Di Gregorio, because that's the only name that we know that will start today, so there is no rotation, there is no rest for our goalkeeper. He said, look, he is our number 1, and for the entire season he will be our number 1. I really like him, I really appreciate his skills as a goalkeeper. Look, there are a lot of exaggeration in judging, in putting labels. Since I'm here, he did really, really well. He is and will be, for the entire year, the number 1. So forget about it. Don't even start the debates. When I start seeing what other games, when I watch other games and I see the goalkeepers with a lot of blunders, I say to myself, Igor Tudor, quote, I would go totally crazy. I would be pissed off with my goalkeeper, but this is not the case of Di Gregorio. I didn't see doing him these mistakes. What about the 7 goals that we conceded? Maybe on one, he is at fault. The other one, he's not even at fault. Sharing the responsibilities on the goals that we conceded, as we tried also to explain here on the channel. What about Kelly? He said, look, too much bad judgments since he arrived, and no objectivity regarding his performances. 2 goals were needed, scored by Kelly, to start saying that he was doing well. That's absolutely not correct. He's doing well since months. Few mistakes since I'm here. When judging, it's not correct to do it with a label on it. And I was really, really happy to hear these words of Tudor. Look, I tell you, I already told you in the intro, and I will repeat it now, maybe because we come from the same era of Juve, a winning Juve. Maybe we come from being educated alla Marcello Lippi, all together, like Padovano is saying, we are actually washing the dirty pants at home, not in public. In public, we are one. We are Juventus. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I cannot explain it to myself. But guys, I loved how yesterday Igor Tudor was defending the boys, the kids. Stile Lippi, stile Juve, my friends. And then we go towards what we really must pay attention now, of course, because these goals were conceded, partially because of Di Gregorio, partially because of our midfield, partially because of people that were not doing the filter, were not supporting and defending as we had to. But these shots from the distance is something that we really must block today. What I'm scared about from Verona, and that's towards the end of the video, is pay attention to that young Orban. Orban is great. I watched again the first half of Verona Cremonese of last week. Guys, yes, it was not a spectacular result in terms of goals, but these guys playing that 3-5-2 that becomes a defensively 5-3-2, they know how to press, they know how to recuperate the ball, they know how with the Akpa Akpro to do that Thuram work, with Serdar that is going into spaces, but pay attention because they go really fast. Open spaces. If we are defending super high, too high, not having the focus and being tired, and that's probably also why Bremer is not starting today, they could really hurt us. So don't do it. Did he speak about other players? Yes, about Dusan Vlahovic, that he's more focused now after Mercato is closed, less doubts, and that in the moment, how he's at the moment, he's really, really important for the team. What about Adzic? He's doing well. He worked well during the week. If needed, well, he's ready to give a help. He didn't give us any indication of how many minutes can he potentially start. He never speaks about the lineup except this time of Di Gregorio. And he spoke also about Cabal, that he is growing, that he can play in 2-3 different roles on the field. He's counting a lot on him. He could potentially play. How many minutes from the start? We still don't know. So that's why I'm telling you the lineups, the starting lineups, question mark. Yeah? Let's see until 1 hour before the game. If you appreciated this video, if you appreciated the efforts, don't forget to put a maximum of like, continue to subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve.